So Thursday is obviously the start to the season. What's your personal thoughts of the last couple of weeks in particular? How are you feeling ahead of the clash?
Feeling good, feeling confident. Can't wait to play. I feel that the group's been in a good place for quite some time now. So there's a moment where we've got to handle people's desire to play. We were ready to play probably just before Christmas, really. So now it's been good, and pre-season, you got to get it right pre-season. I don't think you can win many things in pre-season, but you can certainly lose it if you don't have a good one, as we well know. So yeah, we've ticked a few boxes. I know that sounds a very simple way of putting it, but we've ticked a few boxes and we're ready to play.
Speaking to a few of the players earlier this week, they said they really enjoyed pre-season. Have you done anything differently with them this time around?
No, but we've had one. And really enjoyed it. I don't think anybody was taking our facilities or some of the benefits we have of being at a big club like Leeds. I don't think anybody was taking those for granted before the floods. In fact, I can assure you nobody were. And if there was, they probably found themselves out the joint later on. They ended up just letting them go, and they didn't appreciate what the club was about. But certainly since it was taken away from us, you really do realise just how important those things are to you. And because we've had a full pre-season with those facilities and with everything, all our resource that we normally plough into it, it's been enjoyable. It's been really good, and we've enjoyed each other's company. It's been a very challenging pre-season. We've made sure that we've challenged each other. It's not just been a case of making each other feel good. And I'm pleased to say that the players have responded really well.
Another interesting thing that the players said was that for them, a really good start, 2 points, is really important to them, bearing in mind what happened at the start of last year. Do you share that sentiment? I know nothing is won and lost in the first round, but how important is 2 points for you?
Yeah, of course you'd like to be able to say that we've won. But I'll maintain this all the time. We'd be in good shape. As long as you come away from Saints in good shape, and as long as the fans who travel over there can see that the fellas are in better shape than the first stage of last year, which I can guarantee you they will do. Yeah, we'd like to win as well, and want to get as many points as we can. We do know that when the breakaway happens at round 23, that you want to be as many points in front as you can. So we've set ourselves some very ambitious goals this year, and we'll have to be very good to achieve all those goals. We understand that. And a good start and a winning start is part of that.
You've got a decent mix of youth and experience. With what happened last year with the injuries that you had to some of the experienced players, is there any stepping on eggshells where you're concerned?
Go on, say that again.
With the experienced players that you've got and the injuries that you had to some of them early on last year, is that a concern in your mind? Is it in the back of your mind at all about how you use those players in the opening few weeks?
Whether they might get injured again?
Yes, the experienced players.
I think you can apply that to any coach. Anybody who gets over 30 playing our sport, their propensity to get injured is always there because of age. So, but no, we don't. I do not wrap them up in cotton wool through the week, and if they can't maintain or attain the standards or attain that level of training to be able to play, they don't play. Now, last year I did wrap them up in cotton wool, and they weren't. That's one of the big errors. One of the big things I learnt from last year, that the blokes have got to train at a certain level to be able to play. Just wrapping them up and sending them out there again into battle with not enough preparation does them no good. It does us no good. So I mean, they're pretty robust blokes, and when they are injured, it's because they are injured. It's not a niggle. It's not a broken toenail. But no, we're not treading on eggshells, as you put it, around our senior blokes at all.
Danny Maguire had a frustrating time of it last year with those injuries that we were just talking about. How crucial is his fitness to what you could achieve this year?
Yeah, I think if you go through the squad, and if we want to achieve those very ambitious goals that we've set ourselves, we'll need a few people to be on the money and to play regular. And whether that's Magsy's one of those. I think Magsy's leadership and Magsy's presence within the group, very much like Rob's and very much like Jamie Jones, is important. And it took, although all three of those last year, it took them a while to grasp the fact that some of the usual voices of leadership weren't there, and it took them a while to grasp it. So certainly Mags is going to have an influence over that. But I'm keen to add that it's just that all fingers won't be pointed at Magsy. You know, the leadership part of it, and when things aren't right and if things aren't going well, it's not just him that needs to step up and say, "Pull your socks up, fellas. We've got to change this." It's everybody's responsibility. The captain really is probably more of a bloke who steers it, very much like a coach, I suppose, very much like who steers the ship rather than leads the ship and say, "We are turning left now, we're turning right now, I advise that everybody go." That's not what our captains are about, and Magsy is good at doing things like that.
You mentioned Rob there, 500 rugby league appearances coming up this Thursday. What kind of player is he in your experience? What kind of man is he? What's your experience of him being around here?
Do you know, again, I've said this about JP, Kev and Mags, Jamie Jones, Carl, all those blokes have testimonials. Rob, when he had his testimonial, there's not so many words you can do to justify it. He's had a fantastic career. I think, you know, Rob, along with another few within the Rhinos team, would look back and be immensely proud. Be a unique career he's had. The amount of trophies he's won, all the experience he's gone through. But don't ever underestimate just how tough a bloke he is. I think because of his stature, that's the strength of his really. And you know, he for years has been ducking away and outpacing people and jinking around people and being a real good threat with the ball. But at no stage is he a defensive liability. He's a very tough man, Rob, and personally very tough. Rob's, you know, since I've been coach, has been playing in some various positions, and while at times he's not been happy with it, he's gone out there and give the game his guts. Absolutely, every single time gives it his guts, and that's the true sense of the word professional. To have a difference of opinion, yet go out there and still put everything into it. And I think over the last 18 months we've seen the best of Rob. In terms of leadership, in terms of standing up to be counted, he was fantastic last year. He's had a great pre-season, and I'm sure he's going to be influential this coming season, and who knows, for a few more.
You've got a few players that have been here for 10 years or over there or thereabouts. What is it about rugby league, because that is rare in sport, what is it about rugby league, maybe even the Rhinos, where you've got players that actually do want to commit their entire careers to a club like this?
Yeah, again, I wouldn't find it. I'd find it hard to justify that or to explain that in a couple of sentences here. There's a lot in that, and it's something that's not just luck at all. Spend a lot of time talking to agents about why players would want to commit to a club for such a long period of time. I think simply it's a combination of that the club does take care of them. There's a book coming, and no apologies for the but. The club does take care of them, and you know, because of the place where we're at, it's, you know, we're all unbelievably fortunate to work in a place like this. You know, in the environment with the people that we've got, whether they be football staff or the office staff in the commercial office, the marketing office, the press, everybody in the media, everybody. It's a great place to work. But, and this is the but, the players have got to commit as well. And they've got to put as much into it as the club gives them. And it's just an unconditional demand that we have, that if you become part of us, you do become part of us, and everything, we expect everything. It's not just a Monday to Friday job, it's a way of life when you're with us. And I don't think, I'm going to say it, I don't think you can defend your try line in big games, and I don't think you can make those tackles that you should make, and I don't think you can come up with the plays that you should make in those big games without that level of commitment. So, you know, if you ever want to find out why the Rhinos have been successful over the years, it'll be a combination of a few reasons, of a talented playing squad. But I think some of that commitment from the players that they make to the club, to each other, I think is a big part of it. So and Rob, Danny McGuire and others would have had loads of opportunities come the back end of the several contracts that they've had at the club. They would have had loads of opportunities to go elsewhere, and it's well documented they could have gone elsewhere for more money, but you know, they made a commitment here, and I think the novelty of money wears off when you start talking about job satisfaction, and it's all paid off for them, because again, they look back and they've had a unique career.
So for you, it is a family away from a family. having that trust, as you said, to defend on your try line, sort of the last 5-10 yards, and really put your body on the line for your teammates in the club.
Absolutely, yeah. We can coach that. We can coach an element of that. You can tell them where the feet should be and the hands should be, and you can actually, to a degree, coach the motivation to be able to do that. But whether the player gets it or not, you've got to be careful what you try and manufacture as a coach. You try and manufacture too much motivation in itself, it's manufactured. So they've got to want to, for somebody who's going to go into a tackle or carry the ball or go through a season thinking I'm probably going to come out of this looking bad, or I'm going to come out of this and I'm going to have to pick my leg up and screw it back on because this tackle's going to hurt, yet still go through with it, is the definition of commitment. And we hark back to last year, and the group was unbelievably committed to each other. Never once did I sit in front of any of you guys and say, we question our commitment in any of this. We question a few things, but that's one of the things where you look back, and when people like Rob hit 500 games, it's not just one little moment, it just describes a whole story of him, of loyalty to one club and commitment to one club.
For Thursday's squad, Matt Parcell is included. Have you been impressed with him since he's come in the last few weeks? Could he even start on Thursday? Yeah,
he'll start. Matt will start on Thursday. He's good, and to keep that theme going, he wants to play for us. And we've give the players in pre-season. All clubs will give the players an opportunity to speak, and we give him an opportunity to speak, and we get to find out about him a little bit. And his commitment to us, his desire to play for us, is big. And while I'm sure on his list of things that he wants to do with us is win some big games and enjoy the best moments, he's in no doubt that there'll be some challenging moments this season as well, and he's committed to that as well. And it's given our history of nines over the last couple of seasons, it's good to have a bloke there who's committed.
Brett Ferris isn't included. Do you know how long you'll be without him for?
Not sure. He's one of those, he's just at the back end of having this, I think the right phrase is osteopubitis. It's just a bit of a groin thing that he's got going on. And we've taken the long ball approach with him, the long ball game approach with him, because, again, we're not rushing people back. So, and it's just at that final stage, which often happens, it's the rate of improvement starts to level out a little bit. So I can't tell you, but it won't be in the next couple of weeks, because once the physios hand him over to the coaches and Jason Davidson, we then got to run him, and he hasn't done that much running in pre-season, so you're probably looking at a month from now at the least.
What are you expecting from St Helens? Would you see them as one of the favourites for the League Leader Shield?
Absolutely, yeah. I think they epitomise character, Saints. Won a grand final a couple of years ago with a very disjointed team and an injured ravaged team, and we'll always be in the mix there, Saints. So I know we've had, even though we had some troubles ourselves last year, we had some decent games against them, and I know they'll come out tearing the shirts off, Saints. I think they'll come out of the dressing room absolutely, caveman style. And so, we're preparing for a big start from them, a huge start from them, and we've got to be on our mettle for that. We've got to handle that and give it back to them.
Yeah, because people could be looking to see how you react after last year and being in the qualifiers, and any hint of it being relatively straightforward round one for you is completely dissolved by the fact that it is St Helens, but what a place to get 2 points if you do.
Yeah, I think our time spent in the middle eights is 8 games. I'm not sure there's going to be any residue thinking that we're not used to Super League. So, listen, I don't care whether we won the grand final last year. Going away to Saints is actually a brilliant fixture for us to kick off with. Again, we can't wait to start playing, and what a challenge, you just throw that one to the players and say, look, we've got to go away to Saints and we've got to see where we're at. So even if we'd won the grand final last year, this is a big fixture, this is a very tricky fixture, so it doesn't matter where you've been or what form you're in, going away to St Helens and playing them in their backyard is a tough ask.
Finally, you mentioned in the conference that you had with Matt that you're going to be, and you want to challenge for all three, and you believe you could win all three. Does that mean you go into every game believing or expecting 2 points that you will win? Is it as straightforward as that?
No, it's a very simple way of putting it. I think during the season you've got some tests, some challenges, know when to rotate your squad, know when to rest your squad, know when to not put your injured blokes in the team and all that type of thing. So I think losing, and it probably will make the headlines this, I'm sure, it's not my most important point I'm making today, but losing some games is part of the journey on the way. So yes, we prepare to win every game, of course we do, and when it hurts, when we lose it hurts. You go home thinking, well, I can't do my job, I'm useless, and all that range of emotion that you do. But you take a step back from it and look at it pragmatically. You've got to lose some games to learn. You got to drop the ball every now and again to realise the importance of possession. So, are you asking me, do we prepare to win every single? Absolutely. And my job is to make sure that players believe they can win every game, and that's what we do really well. But I know we'll lose some games next year. If you're asking me to win trophies, what do you need? I'll tell you, we'll need to lose some games to be able to win the big things at the end of the year.
You've included Jack Ormeroyd and Jordan Baldwinson in your 19-man squad. You were at Halifax last week to see them play for Featherstone. Have they played their way into the squad?
Absolutely, yeah. Jordan Baldwinson in particular, I think he's had a good old pre-season there, Jordan, and was fantastic for Featherstone against Halifax while on dual reg, and that was a tough game. And I think it was notable that when Jordan went off, and I think it was Andy Bostock as well that went off, that the game just dipped a little bit. Jack Ormeroyd came on and was very workmanlike, industrial, and was good in his own right. But when Jordan came back on, it seemed to just shore things up again. Tough carries, he had some really tough carries, and I think Halifax had probably put him on their tip sheet about a bloke who they've got to do a job on, and quite often he's carrying it into the teeth of a 3 or a 4-man tackle, and I was really impressed with him, and I'm sure he'll do a job for us tomorrow night. It's a good reward for him.
Brett Delaney misses out. Is he in a similar situation as Brett Ferris, or could he be back sooner?
Yeah, I think Brett's in a better shape. He's a better situation, I suppose, than Brett Ferris, in that his injury could just, with the backs, he's got a bit of a back twinge at the moment, could right itself within 48 hours, but because of that he hasn't done the running. I think he'll be back within a month, but I'm hesitant to put any timescales on it. So he's had a good old pre-season, has Brett Delaney. He got through a fair bit, hadn't had a pre-season for a couple of seasons building up to this one, so he got himself into great shape, so that's why it's pretty much frustrating for him to just to get this little bit of a niggly back right at the back end of pre-season.
In your final preparations for the season, you've opted for 2 games against championship sides in Hull and Featherstone. You're pleased with physically where the players are ready for the intensity of Super League?
Yeah, for sure. I think if anybody doesn't know, they should know that any championship team will get to Super League standard for 1 game, and possibly 2 or 3 games, and Lee proved that last year. So I think the level of opposition that we chose it provided us everything that we needed. And we both performances defensively were strong in both performances. We end up with our pre-season warm-up games. We come to the back end of those, and I'm thinking, job done. Now we do know there's going to be a step up. We know that when we go away to Saints. But in terms of the players being in a good position to be confident about Saints, that's where we're at.
Thank you.